Good day, everybody. Welcome to the Bennett Brothers Wrestling Corner, episode 6 of season 4. It's Oakland 93 in the place to be. And I hope your weekend was as easy as using a napkin. If you did something special on Valentine's Day, I hope it went well. I spent my Valentine's Day watching the NBA's, traditional All-Star Saturday, which was not that bad this year. Just to go a little bit into detail what happened. Stephen Curry went in the three-point contest, showing that he's one of the best shooters in the game today, if not in the NBA, just period. And Victor Oladipo and Zach LaVine, two young studs of the NBA, kind of brought some spark back, if only if it was for one night only, to the kind of lifeless slam dunk contest. But nonetheless, I enjoyed them. I didn't watch the All-Star game, but I enjoyed All-Star Saturday night. We already got first comment. It's from J Flo, Jared Flowers. How's it going, man? How's it going? Right now today it's basically and there actually is some news with this team right here, the Knicks. They just bought out Amari Stoudemire. So, seems like Amari Stoudemire will be leaving the Knicks in a couple of days or so. But what's up for discussion for this edition of the corner? It's the Go Home show of Raw. The Go Home Raw show for the first ever Fastlane pay-per-view. But last week was NXT Takeover Live, and I'll give my thoughts on that event. Also, I will talk about a problem that I have with the current John Cena-Rusev feud. Even though I just saw, but they didn't show when it first happened. I kind of take a little bit back, but it's still. But I'm still gonna wait talking about how before they show, but nonetheless, I'll be talking about the John Cena Rusev feud and a problem that I have with it, even though they kind of what's going on here? WWE home videos, destruction of the Shield. A relentless faction. Stop this destruction. They could only be stopped from within. What? Just salty arrows! How the world would $7 do this? My ultimate goal is being the very best, which is what is going to happen in Sharon's spotlight through the eyes through the trade he was created. Before the home video release comes out tomorrow, in an exclusive first look you can only see on WWE Network. Everything's at stake. My whole career's at stake. I'm not scared to do what I've done my entire life. Put my hand down, throw punches, and go forward. An exclusive first look, destruction of the Shield. Tonight, immediately following Raw, exclusively on WWE Network. Wow. I actually like that music too that they were playing. But also I would announce what's going to be the first pay-per-view that's talked about for the first edition of the Wrestling Corner Retro. And it's actually a pay-per-view that I finally got to see because it took time to watch a couple of days ago. It's messed down. What's going on here? Yeah, that was pretty random. We basically got an quasi reunion of the primetime players.
But yeah, let's kick things off with NXT Takeover Rival. It was last Wednesday. It was live. Um, what headlined the event was Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens the for the NXT Championship. Also, right right under also, I guess you can say the and that's been the case for the NXT Takeover events lately. That you can kind of say that if you're one to do main event, you have a semi-main event. If you're one that believes that there are more than one main event. The semi-main events as lately have been for the NXT Women's Champion, and I actually like that. And those matches actually live up to being in that spot. But we kicked off the show with Hideo Itami versus Tyler Breeze. I had a feeling that this match was going to happen again, and I didn't even see what took place after Hideo lost to Finn Balor when Tyler Breeze attacked him in the locker room. But I just had a feeling that was going to lead to some type of match because you have Tyler Breeze kept saying, "I'm watching this tournament very closely." And it was always before a Hideo match. Oh, 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 oh. What is he, a bellboy?
I have a scuff on my shoe. Would you please come here and buff it out? I can't see my reflection in my shoe, people.
I'm wearing freaking loafers.
It's right there. Thank you. Good job. Colonel.
Oh.
Ms. Down. Just one more thing.
Oh, man. And also, so yeah, you got a day of time versus Tyler Breeze. And, like always, you can expect to get something good with Hideo. And Tyler Breeze has shown that in the takeover events, he can bring it. I do agree. With Nate, my friend Nate. I do agree with him that I think that it would have been the match would have been better if it got a little bit of more time. A little bit. It didn't. When I went on Wikipedia, I checked. It didn't even pass 10 minutes. It was like 8 minutes, but but they still kept it interesting to watch. But Hideo will once again get the win, and man, I'm telling you, they teased it again. They teased Hideo doing the GTS again, and the crowd went nuts again. I'm telling you, the payoff to him connecting with the GTS for the first time is going to be flat out awesome. And I felt that it was a perfect time to do it. Who better to get the first GTS? Damn, bro. Who's better? Who's better to get the first GTS in NXT than Prince Pretty himself? Somebody who values his face so much. You got zip tie. Well, I guess there's a fan. I guess there's a fan in the crowd that actually doesn't like Ambrose. Like, like, it's forgery. That's forgery. Oh man, you never know what you're going to get with the lunatic fringe, huh? Oh. Then the second, then the that's that's forgery. Jack Tunney. Oh man, a third way Bray promo. Nonetheless, then we would go to the tag team. No. We would go to the no disqualification match between Bo Dallas and Bo Dempsey, the third match of their feud. And you know, while watching that match, I know that no disqualification matches, it's not necessarily it they don't necessarily emphasize weapon use. I wasn't expecting a lot of weapons, but there was barely anything that okay. There was barely anything in that match that really related to a no disqualification. It's almost like that match could have just been, what they did, could have just been a regular match. They could have did the aggressiveness even in a regular match. They showed that they could. And when we got a little bit of a piece of no disqualification, the no disqualification stipulation, it was with a chair, but, they was only used a couple of times. And then it looked like, no, I think it was used a couple of times. I think when Bo was finally going to use it, that's when he got caught and got that, which I still think was supposed to be on the chair, but the chair fell farther from the two guys. Also, Baron became the first guy to kick out of Bull's Bam Bam Bigelow headbutt. But the main story that that was trying to be told in that match was, finally we get to see how does Baron handle, being on the defense, test his reserve. His resolve. Basically show, have a longer match than, a minute or so. And now me and Nate, we talked about this, and he felt that and this just goes for anybody, that wins in quick fashion and barely takes offense when their initial matches. It's 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 very natural, and it's very obvious that, that sooner or later that, yeah, they're going to, have to be in a match that's longer than what their initial matches were. It's just natural. So it's nothing unexpected because, after a while, you just keep doing that even against established people, people might get annoyed of it. But those initial matches, those quick matches, it gives that person a very big presence. So, hey, hold on. Hey, we got Invictus here. Invictus is in the house. How's it going, Invictus? Hold on, guys. Okay, back. But yeah, it's only inevitable that that dominant person has a match where, especially if they're face, where they're now going to be, on the receiving end of some punishment. But what me and Nate were talking about, we were talking about that maybe it was a little bit too early for that match to come for Baron. And also, something that I should point out, and maybe it was a one-time thing, so I'm not going to jump the gun. But on that event, at that event, Baron came out with his own shirt. Oh man, Naomi. He did come, came out with a shirt, I guess his shirt. And I understand, promoting your merchandise, you see it. Look, you got the Usos right here, they're wearing their shirt. It's not, it's usual. It's in wrestling. John Cena is part of Randy Orton, Bryan, you name it. But Baron, normally came out with his vest with the wolf on it. And I felt that made him really stand out even more. So when he came out with the shirt, I'm thinking, well, that just kind of makes him, makes him look like everybody else. That vest makes his entrance, something that makes his entrance stand out. It's like with Austin. Austin was upset when he had to come out to his own shirt at WrestleMania 15. With the match against The Rock. I remember finally watching WrestleMania 15, part of the WrestleMania anthology, and I was thinking, why did Austin come out in a shirt with a shirt in it? Because he left it. He left it at his house. Oh boy, here comes Tyson Kidd N.Sync song. Echoes of this sound. Oh man, natty. Man. Natty and Naomi. Boy, would I like to spend the night with them. But they're taken, unfortunately. So yeah, that's a little bit, but I think it was maybe a one-time thing for Baron. Maybe he'll go back to, maybe he'll be going back to the best. They just wanted to showcase his. They may just wanted for him to showcase his shirt. But I believe that's the end for this Baron Bull feud. Totally one-sided. I mean, in terms of wins and loss, there was only really one match that was really competitive, and that was the last one. Bull got more offense in, but the other two, especially the second one, it was all Baron. Then we moved on to the tag team championship match. Now, unfortunately, unfortunately for this match, it never got off to a real good start. And not only did it not get off to a good start, in my opinion, even though um, it never got to a good start, and also they were never able to make amends, to catch up. 'Cause once those initial botches happened, which a lot of fans say that was the curse of Mystico Sin Cara present during that match. So they never really recovered. You can tell that those initial botches. I think even Sin Cara, I think he got hurt from the initial botch. He was a little bit shaken up. So even when they tried to recover, tried to play catch up for their mistakes, it never really gelled. It never really clicked. And you know what? And because of that, maybe they'll try to make amends, down the road. Because it's not like the Lucha Dragons, and so far what we have seen from why do I always about Blake and Murphy. Oh, it's not like those two teams are not all right on the fanny. It's not like they're not talented. Just like it's not like Naomi and Natalya are not talented. So I think, it was just a bad outing between the two. It was just what? Oh shoot! Oh! 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 2 minutes. Oh! I think that's one of the first times I've ever seen, the exchange of pins actually end a match. Most of them it's 1-2 kick out, 1-2 kick out, and then they break it up. Now then maybe there's 3 different pin attempts, and then for a breakup, it's up. Yeah, is he decisive? Sharpshooter. I know you're not about to hit her. Come on, Natty. There's only so much of this crap you can take. And hopefully, I hope this is no swerve. Why it looks all, and then come Fastlane, Natty's all with, freaking Tyson and Cesaro, which I thought was the case when Natty, said what she said in the diner segment. I thought, oh boy, here we go, some Stockholm syndrome. So yeah, I just think that with the tag team championship match, those mishaps really affected the match. But there's actually a story to that me and Chris found out, and I'm thinking it's going to be played up for the next couple of shows, and a little bit karma it was, because even though Sin Cara got pinned, he made a tag to Kalisto. So it was a little bit karma to when the Lucha Dragons beat the Vaudevillains, and Aiden English was still the legal man. So I think that's going to be the case. It was a little bit karma on the behalf of the Lucha Dragons, were effective of karma. Some bad karma. So yeah, but Blake and Murphy, they were able to retain their titles. Just an outing that never really gelled, but I don't think that. I think it was more of the mishaps. I think they can make amends, and I think they will. Um, then we got on. Then we went on to one of the most anticipated matches of the night. Finn Balor. Well, what type of mind games Roman Reigns is going to play? No, we got Finn Balor versus Adrian Neville. Well, let me just check some comments because I saw the notifications pop up. Okay, Jared, yeah, tons of snow here at Old Dominion in Virginia. How about you? So far the snow has not come in New York. Jared, I think it's supposed to come in the early morning, but it hasn't come yet. But I know there was that weather report that was really happy in Boston about getting all that snow. I think it was a meteorologist, weather reporter, meteorologist, kind of the same difference. That's not disrespecting the professions, not at all. So yeah, we would get Finn Balor versus Adrian Neville, the finals of the number one contenders tournament for to the NXT Championship. And as I predicted, that the war paint was going to be basically exclusive to takeover events, because once again we got the epic, and I know in this time and age epic is thrown around. It's thrown around like freaking footballs are in an NFL college season. It's thrown around regularly. But Finn Balor's entrance is epic. It's an epitome of an entrance. It exudes character. It exudes aura. It gets you into the match. I mean, this is a guy who really cares about not only his in-ring work, but his just overall presence. And I like that about Finn Balor. I like that about him. This guy, look, when you got an entrance that can captivate the audience, where it's not only what you do in the ring that people are looking before what you do in the ring. People are anticipating your entrance. You got something. For instance, what Goldberg did in the ring, while that was good, people anticipated his entrance. So Finn Balor, his entrance music. I like listening to, his music on YouTube. I'm about to download it to my MP3. There's a couple of wrestling themes that I would like to download to my MP3. And Finn Balor is one of them. I mean, it just exudes that mystique hero. Even though Steve says it comes across as Phantom of the Opera. When I think of it, I just think of, that real mystique, hero or anti-hero. It really exudes that theme. But enough about Finn Balor's entrance, which is not bad to talk about, by the way. But on to the match. The match. The match started off pretty cautious, but not so cautious at times. But then when the match started to pick up, it picked up. I mean, from dives over the top rope. One of the main things, and I'm surprised it wasn't the finish. I'm surprised it wasn't. And I'm surprised it wasn't Finn Balor hits the regular coup de grace, which is his double foot stomp on the top rope, and Adrian somehow kicks out of that. And then Finn Balor goes the extreme route by hitting the coup de grace on the head, on the back of the head, because he did that to a bent over Adrian. And I thought that was the finish, but it wasn't. It was not the finish. But yeah, Finn Balor, he would hit the coup de grace. Also, the Adrian Neville hit a second rope Phoenix splash, which was awesome, but it didn't get the win. But like I said before, Finn Balor would hit the coup de grace, and he would pick up the 1, 2, 3, and become the winner of the tournament, become the #1 contender for the NXT Championship. And at the end of the match, he would shake hands with Adrian Neville, a sign of respect, which is always good. But personally, my thoughts on Finn Balor being #1 contender, in terms of face, it was either him or Hideo. You know, it was either him or Hideo. I mean, Neville has already been to the top of the mountain. So in terms of like a new person being, in the top of the mountain, or being in that title spot, it was Finn Balor or Hideo. I thought it was going to come down to them in the finals instead of the semifinals. But nonetheless, Finn Balor is your new #1 contender for the NXT Championship. Yeah, this Big Show staying still, who's probably on the verge to his 28th turn. Horror. It is horror. Then we move on to the NXT Women's Championship. Oh, that's smart. Attack the legs, man. Attack the. Oh! Yeah, it did. Oh, Jesus. For the first time ever, the NXT Championship. Yeah, well, at Fatal 4 is for the first time ever, I believe the NXT Championship was defended in Fatal 4. But for the first time ever, the NXT Women's Championship was defended in a Fatal 4-way. Charlotte defending her title against Sasha Banks. I mean, the boss, Sasha Banks. Becky Lynch, and the ever huggable and lovable Bayley. Now, I said it before that they always have, for the past couple of for the past couple of takeovers. Ow! If you're one that believe that there's a double main event or something, the NXT Women's Championship has most been the semi-main event, and it has always lived up to being in that spot, to where I am one that would be for, and me and Nate, Nate one that said it, and I agree with him. I'll be up for the NXT Women's Championship match with the performance that those women put on, headlining one of the takeovers, being the main event to a takeover. Oh, what a bionic elbow. Oh no. But Now this match, all ladies, you know, did a I don't know. You see, I can understand how what Brian did affected freaking Reigns, but I don't see why would Roman Reigns taking signing autographs really distract Brian that much. Oh no! Oh no! No! Oh. 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 All ladies put on a great performance. I mean, we saw as I called it, a double decker, double knee drop. Sasha Banks' signature double knee drop when somebody's horizontal on turnbuckle. She had, Charlotte and Becky Lynch. She had Charlotte. She first gonna do it on Charlotte, and then she had Becky Lynch, and man, made it's almost like the signature, test your might, or like in when they break the, like in Bloodsport, we had to do Denmark, had to make all the both underneath break. That's how I came across, like, the signature test your might, routine or ritual. But once Charlotte went down, dropped right down on Becky Lynch. Once again, Sasha did another suicide dive, did it on Bayley and Becky Lynch. We also saw a nice, I think it's a pump handle suplex, shades of Saturn, with Becky Lynch when she finally had enough of, getting bossed around by the boss. We saw the aggressive side of Bayley, come out. We had a nice false finish when Bayley hit super belly to Bayley. I mean, on Charlotte. Charlotte was out. Even before that, we had a nice inadvertent tag team move. A wheelbarrow code breaker with Charlotte and Bayley on Sasha Banks, I believe. I believe it was on Sasha Banks. Crazy. But then after, the super, belly to Bayley, Sasha Banks will lock on the what does she call her just face lock? I think the bank out. I think the bank out is the strangle backbreaker. You know what? Let me make sure. Oh. All right, the bank statement. She locked on the bank statement, and she's wrenching all the way back, but Charlotte's not tapping. And then something different. Joe Charlotte did not tap. It wore Charlotte. I mean, Joe Charlotte did not tap out. It wore her so much to the point. It wore out to the point that Sasha basically got on crucifix pin and got the 1, 2, 3. So while she didn't get the submission, she basically made, she basically wore Charlotte out almost to, passing out and got the 1, 2, 3. I thought that was a little bit different. Yeah, it kind of came like, whoa. At first I'm like, whoa, that was the end. But then it's like, okay, that's a little bit different. And I saw your comment, J Flow, about yeah. So you're coming. Yeah, I love that Sasha Banks won the championship. Yeah, I was pulling for Bayley. No, I really was, but Sasha Banks has really come into her own. Like as I said before, at first, she really had her personality and character down pat when I first saw her. But she never really had a performance. Yeah, she showed some bits of it, but she never really had a performance until the one with Charlotte. That was like, okay, she's more than just pizzazz. She's more than just character. She can go in that ring when the time permits. Oh, yeah, but Booker, that happened in January, and now by the time that match happens, it's going to be March. And if he just has one broken rib, not a broken rib cage, then come on now, stop that. But yeah. So I was not upset. Be quiet. After that performance, I'd rather have a great performance, even as a person that I might not necessarily be a fan of. I will at least take when they win the title a good performance and a good match. So, even if you weren't a fan of Sasha Banks, I would like to think that you would be impressed about that match. At least she won the title in a great match. Don't let that freaking no. Oh. Hey, you gotta put your hand. Oh! Oh! And there's that Big Show kick. So Sasha Banks, wins, and a little bit of, respect given by, from Charlotte, even though Sasha, being Sasha, kind of just threw it back in her face a little bit. That I'll take it for a little bit, but it does. But remember, I'm the winner now. But that's the signature Big Show Brian spot. But you can see the emotion. You can see Sasha really, really, really the emotion about the part. You can really see her trying to, hold back the emotion because you can tell, you can see the tears coming in her eyes. And I bet you, backstage, she cried with tears of joy. But I feel Sasha was deserving of it. And but hopefully, I think Blue Goblin said this, that hopefully if it is still set for Bayley to become NXT Women's Champion, hopefully when it happens, the fans still care for Bayley. And I think that the fans will still care for Bayley. I think Bayley has such a likable personality, but at the same time, you never know. The fan, when is this going to? Okay, this is never going to happen. So you know what? Shawn Michaels brought up in his DVD when he was feuding with. I forget when him and Marty was the midnight when they were the Midnight Rockers. If I'm getting Tina was feuding with. They knew that while the feud had some steam on it, they just kept coming up short, and they kept like, we know what the payoff is, but at least do the payoff before people stop caring. Oh. Wow. Oh, Brian. Yeah, I'm about to say, I know you're not going to end this. I know Nicole already. Yeah, go low. Oh. 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 Let him go. Let him go. Let them fight. Let them fight. No. Oh, wow! Wow! Oh! 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 Shoot! I guess chair shots. Oh! I guess chair shots really does not affect Roman Reigns that much. Yeah, Booker, get. Yeah. Look at Bill DeMont. Look at Norman Smiley. Oh, man. They're going to explode eventually. But yeah, I just hope. I was talking about Bailey. Yeah, I hope that that because I think it's going to be Bailey the one to take the belt from Sasha Banks. But I hope by then, what happens, the crowd is still into the chase with her. They're not tired of it. Then we come down to the main event. Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens. You know, familiar. They're no strangers to each other. None at all for the NXT Championship. At first I thought this match still was going to hold its no disqualification stipulation. I think it had when it was going to be a non-title match, but it looked like it didn't. Or maybe it did. Just but we had a lot of stalling from Owens. Like the initial minute he just stalled and Samuel said, "The hell with that," and just dove right on top of it. The freaking senton, the flip all the way over, the top rope, the no rope, somersault senton. And but then from there on, it would mostly be, dominated by, Owens. And then Sammy would get, he would make his comeback. And boy, he had a comeback. He had his signature, exploder or T-bone into the corner. He was able to hit the Blue Thunder Bomb, and it wasn't no half-assed version where you can tell because of Owens, I'm not going to try to do the whole thing. No, what he could, even though it wasn't as fast as when he does to anybody else, he did the whole spin with Owens and got him. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to hit the Aluva kick. And then the match would take an ugly turn when Sammy when Sammy did his I say moonsault. It's mostly Sabu's type of moonsault. And after he hit it, instead of falling, yes, hey, yes, Rangers, they got the win over the Islanders. Finally, this season they got to win over the Islanders. Instead of landing, stomach first on top of Owens, he landed on his feet but fell on the back of his head. And I can tell right from there, oh man, this is going to play an effect into the match. And boy, did it ever, Coney. Try to go for the Aluva kick, he stumbled. His equilibrium's off. And one thing, this is one of the reasons why Sami Zayn makes a good baby face. This is a good wrestler, period. His selling is damn believable. It's very believable. And as a face, I've always heard this. I've always heard this from wrestlers. As a face, especially if you're not supposed to be dominant, unbeatable face, selling is one of your key attributes. Because your selling is what gets the sympathy from the audience. And makes things believable, makes your pain believable, to sell that pain. But Sami Zayn, when he sells, his equilibrium is off and everything, boy, he has me scared. I'm thinking, this guy really can cuss. He's just selling. And once again, like I said, that would play an effect because then freaking Owens went into killer mode. I believe he hit the Steen. I think he hit the Steen breaker before the concussion came or after. Once again, I'm still surprised WWE actually allowed. Knowing WWE, I'm surprised they still allow Owens to do that because the Steen, the pump handle neck breaker of his is brutal looking. But Sammy would kick out. He would kick out. He would kick out, but he would take a powerbomb. And kick out of that. And he would take another powerbomb. And another. And it's to the point. And it's to the point where it's like, ref, you got to make a decision and stop the match. I think he took 8 power bombs before the doctors came, the referee finally called the match off. And when me and Chris was watching, Chris was kind of confused by when the referee gave the belt to Steen or Owens. And he was crowned a new champion. And I told him it was by a ref stoppage. That's technically almost like that. That'd be like almost the same thing of Sammy having to forfeit the match. So that counts. Yeah, that's a title change. Like in boxing, you know, or in boxing, if the referee has stopped the fight and it's the champion that lost, that I believe, yeah, the challenger, they're the new champion. So that was the case. Man, you know, I was not expecting a title change, to be honest. I was expecting, you know, things to get really out of hand and maybe a no contest, or maybe Sammy somehow winning. But as I as I, as I said all over Facebook right after the show, good job by NXT for in in the same match. Um, in the same match, you know, at the same time, you know, um, you book Sami Zayn as a fighter that fought until his body gave out on him. And then at the same time, you book Owens as this remorseless, rotten killer. You do that in the same match. That's outstanding to me. The story that was told was outstanding to me. Yes, I don't really like the fact that Sammy, you know, lost his title on his second title defense. Even though Nate told me the reason why he had to drop the belt then, because he basically that night he basically flew in from the Middle East tour that WWE was having, and you know, he was flying back out to finish the tour, so he wasn't going to be able to be there for the next NXT tapings. But the story itself was you 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 basically say you tell the story of a fighter or a champion fighting until his body gives out, and this remorseless killer in the same match. That's just, I gotta tip my hat off to, you know, NXT for that booking. Now, even if, you know, it was the other way around, Sammy winning, and it's still the same story was told that he fought, you know, he was able to fight through his concussion symptoms, you know, and win somehow, you know, but still, because I know Sammy, he would have still sold the concussion symptoms even if he did win. It still would have been unbelievable. So yes, Kevin Owens is your new NXT champion, and I look forward to him versus Finn Balor. You know, I like if they're gonna go with, you know, if the deal is, you know, Sammy's gonna be out for a while, and Balor's gonna have his shot. You know, I know Balor's number contender, but still. Overall, you know, once again, NXT delivered with Rival. I don't think necessarily it was better than our Evolution. I still think so far Evolution has been the best takeover. But still, NXT has yet to really disappoint. Like as an overall for overall shows, they have yet to really disappoint, and that's a good thing. Like Mick Foley, yeah. So yeah, I look forward to whatever the next NXT takeover, whatever it's going to be called. I look forward to. I look forward to anything NXT, you know, it has to deliver. Also, now moving on to, you know, the Cena versus Rusev feud. My problem with, and once again I said, they kind of how can I put it? They kind of brought it up. They kind of finally brought it up, but they didn't show it initially until they showed the recap. My problem with the Cena-Rusev feud was not enough attention or focus on the actual belt that's on the line. So finally, we see Cena actually raise the United States title, showing that, implying that he does care about it, he does want that belt. But most of the promos, you're not, you know, me retaining my United States champion or Cena, and I'm a former United States champion, I'm taking that belt back and everything, has not been mentioned. You know, it has not been. And I think it's always important for a title match for the belt to be mentioned, because because it's to the point where you might as well just have, Cena-Rusev just be a non-title match because the title's not really being talked about. You're not hearing Cena telling his desire to, restoring. I bet you would say restoring some respect or dignity to that belt. We haven't heard any of that from him. It's just more about, teaching Rusev a lesson and kicking his ass. And that could be all done in a non-title match. But it seems like they finally showed Cena implying that, yeah, he does care for the United States champion by him raising the belt, which, okay, is a good sign. Hold on, man. But yeah, I think and then a final. I guess I didn't put in the script, but I guess I give my predictions, my thoughts on Fastlane. Once again, I don't think there really needed to be a paper. If they was going to eliminate, the Elimination Chamber, I don't think there was a need for there to be a pay-per-view. This WrestleMania is going to be in March. So I don't think there was really a need for, there to be a pay-per-view in between the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania. But, seeing for Fastlane, we're going to have Paige versus Nikki for the title. We're going to have Cesaro and Kid versus the Usos for a tag title. Oh yeah, I forgot. Invictus. Yeah, you had a comment on that. I'm sorry about it. It's a good thing I brought it up because you had a comment on the tag championship match. Usos will eventually lose the titles to Kid and Cesaro. I just hope W gives Naomi another serious title shot and push. Yeah, I hope so too. But I'm not so sure if the Usos will lose their belts to Cesaro and Kid. But you know what? They might. You never know. Because I was always thinking that the Usos was going to lose their belts to the Ascension. But like I said, Kid and Cesaro, that tag team, that tandem is growing on me. That tag team has promise. I thought it was just a makeshift tag team just be made, and it's really growing on me. But yeah, we got the Usos versus Kid and Cesaro for tag champion. That should be a great match. Even though they've done it already on TV a couple of weeks ago. We got for the Intercontinental Ambrose and Barrett. And see, unlike with Cena-Rusev's promos, the Intercontinental Champion has always been the main focus for Ambrose's and Barrett's promos. And that's what I've been liking about that. We've also got I don't know why they just didn't, and maybe they will, but I don't know why they just didn't book Ziggler versus Dolph. Ziggler versus Dolph, same person. Ziggler versus Rollins at Fastlane instead of doing it on the Go Home SmackDown. You might as well just do it on Fastlane. I thought they were going to book Ziggler, Rowan, and Ryback versus Rollins and JJ Script. You never know. They might do that. They might do that. We have of course we got Rusev versus Cena for the United States Championship. We have We have Sting and Triple H coming face-to-face for the first time since Survivor Series. I wonder how that segment's going to play. How that's going to play out. And then we have, which I believe is going to be the main event, Bryan versus Reigns. One thing I can say about, I like that we have a first-time matchup. This is Cena and Rusev. I don't think they've ever faced off before. They may have faced off in live events, since that's how it is. Most time when they're building up, when this build up for a match at a pay-per-view, they have those test-out matches. That's what the live events are for. But but in this time, W really don't count live events. So it's almost like those never really happen unless a title change happens. So, Catherine Webb. So it's good that we have a first time outing between and on the pay-per-view. And I would like to think Cena and Rusev is going to be good. And it'll be crazy if Rusev wins. Because I don't think this is going to be there. I think, it's going to carry on to WrestleMania. Because right now I don't see what Cena could possibly be doing if his Rusev thing was the end right now. I don't see anything open for him. Unless Hulk Hogan, finally is able to get that match that he so desperately wants. And I think Bryan and Reigns, once again, this is more beneficial for Reigns than it is for Bryan. This can really help out Reigns. Hopefully he puts on a good form result. I really hope he does. It's not like I want, Reigns to fail. I don't. I really don't. Even though, I am a fan of Bryan's, but still, I don't wish really anybody to fail. So I really hope that Reigns has a good match with Bryan. I think he can have a good match with Bryan. Bryan, can have a good match with mostly anybody that you put in front of him. And as for Paige and Nikki, I would like for Paige to win the belt back. I would. But I don't know if it's going to happen. But at the same time, no, I don't think it's going to happen. But once again, if this leads to Brie finally, getting at her scissor, which like I said, is now going to come across as just her getting fed up, and instead of it being a plan all along, which because we still haven't got really any explanation for why she did what she did. Excuse me. But Fastlane, it could be a pretty good B show pay-per-view. Ambrose and Barrett could have a good match. I know for sure the Usos, Cesaro and Kidd should be a good match. And Rusev and Cena hopefully is a good match. And I have faith that Bryan and Reigns is going to be a really good match. And probably be fun to watch. And definitely be fun to watch because of the crowd. That's true. No, okay. But here's one thing for sure about Fastlane. It's going to look like the set is going to look like every other pay-per-view, or mostly Raw. It's going to look like Raw and SmackDown. It's not going to look any, like a special event, because the past couple of pay-per-views have looked just like Raw and SmackDown, and I don't understand why. I think the WWE, ever since Royal Rumble, and that's even before they lost some money because of the network, they've just been lazy. Now, finally, it's time for me to announce the first pay-per-view that will be talked about for the first ever Wrestling Corner Retro. Once again, Wrestle Corner Retro was an idea created by Nathan Banks. So you can for all you people, you can thank him for that. The first pay-per-view that we talked about for the Wrestling Corner Retro will be what I just watched a couple of days ago. Finally saw it in its entirety. Royal Rumble 2000. The first WWE pay-per-view of the new millennium. Of the 21st century. So Royal Rumble 2000 will be the pay-per-view that will be talked about next week on the Bennett Brothers Wrestling Corner Retro. And with that, with that, I thank you for once again joining me for this Bennett edition of the Bennett Brothers Wrestling Corner. Once again, this was episode 6 of season 4. 6 times 4 is 24, and 6 plus 4 is 10. Once again, a little bit of math for you. Once again, I hope you have a nice weekend. For those that watch Fastlane, and I believe that the corner chat room on Sunday will be active because of Fastlane. So I hope we can all enjoy Fastlane. But until then, this is Hopeland 93, and I bid you and adieu. And not only do I bid you at wait, whoa. Oh, I forgot. Dang it, I forgot. Sinquan, what's up? I forgot, I saw that. Sinquan, what's up? He's kind of interrupted, my the dog. That kind of ended my, my outro, but nonetheless, sin. I hope you can go back. I don't know if you're watching this. I don't know what part you just came in, or you're gonna go back and watch the whole thing. But I hope that you enjoyed this corner, and I hope you enjoyed Raw, and I hope you will enjoy Fastlane, and hopefully, I will see you. I'll be communicating with you along with everybody else in the chat room during Fastlane. But until then, I bid you all an adieu. And not only do I bid you an adieu, I say peace.